how does UVA's online class infrastructure rank among other universities?
I think currently, right now, I think we're probably doing as well or better than most. UVA is primarily a residential university, and I think that's the focus of the school. So I don't think we're at the top of any scale in terms of online, but I think we are sufficient to make that technology available to faculty and to students. But going from zero to this fast on this scale is like unimaginable. A lot of faculty can do a basic amount of things, the things that they do on a day-to-day basis, but it's a lot more complicated when all of a sudden you have to really rely on those tools a lot. So in terms of resources, I think the university's done a great job of getting faculty the support they need to at least do that kind of basic set of things. And we just don't have the luxury of time right now to say, well, if we were going to do this course right and do it online, here's the things we'd set up. That's not the environment we're in. We're very much you have this very restricted amount of time, and what can you do in that amount of time? Which I think is fine given where everybody is. I think that's the exact right approach. It's just not the one we would choose.
Speaking of time, do you believe that professors can realistically adopt and implement these online learning procedures?
Well, I do. I think we're making progress every day. What I hear from my colleagues in the comm school, at least, is every day they get a little more comfortable with what they did the day before, and they get a little more willing to try the next thing. What I've encouraged my colleagues in this comm school to think about is let the students see what you're trying to do and let them support that. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Most faculty aren't very comfortable walking into a classroom without a perfect understanding of what they want to happen. And we don't have that anymore. So when you get on and technology doesn't work the way you want, you just need to be flexible. And I think it's fine to let students see you kind of demonstrate that flexibility and demonstrate that, hey, this didn't work the way I thought it did, and here's what we're going to try to do, and try to be flexible. So yeah, I think we can complete the rest of the semester. I think students are going to have to be a little bit flexible, but if they give that a chance, and if faculty continue to kind of push to figure out what's the thing that I most want to deliver and how do I do that, I think it's still a good alternative. Again, it's not the one we would choose, but it's the one that we have, and so why not focus everyone's attention on let's make the best of what we have right now and see if there can still be learning and all going on.
Do you think online classes have a growing role to play in the UVA curriculum even after the coronavirus closures?
I don't know that I see an increase in online classes in total. I do predict that faculty will discover that this distance learning maybe is way more effective at some things than they ever imagined, and it's way more possible. So to say an online course implies the entire course moves to online, and that's one method of using distance and technology. I think a hybrid model has always been a great answer. So there's some things that you do in the classroom that you should do live. There's just some interaction. There's some things that I think feel better and are probably more effective if they can be done face to face. But there are some things that I think probably a lot of faculty do in a live classroom that could honestly be done with distance. So whether that's taping some technical lecture or taping solving certain problems or facilitating small group work and things like that, I think what faculty might find is, I didn't know I could do that. And so now that I've had to learn kind of under these conditions, maybe I can take some of those tools and bring them back to my regular classroom in the future. That would not move UVA online. There's not a threat that we're taking all of our courses online now because we think we've done it. I think using some of those tools to improve our regular teaching would be a great outcome. I can only speak firsthand from the comm school. I think faculty have done a spectacular job. They've kind of risen to the task, and once they got over the shock of here's what we have to do, I think they kind of buckled down and said, okay, take some of this advice. How do I simplify things? How do I use the basic technology before I use the fancy technology and things like that? And what I'm hearing from my colleagues is students are engaged. They're thrilled to see each other. If they're having a Zoom session, they're glad to see each other. They're glad to see the professor. Certainly, I know the faculty are always glad to see the students. So that's kind of a reassurance that, hey, there for a week, I was all alone in my office trying to figure this out. But now I remember why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for my students. And I think the students appreciate that. And so I, I think students are resilient. I think they'll rise to it and they'll figure out, hey, this is what I have right now. And why quit and why not spend some time and effort and try to make the best of it. So I think they'll rise to that just like I've seen them do so far.